Welcome back, everyone, to Hockenheim for race 2 of the Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine here in the opening round of the season. It was a returning driver who took the first win of the season yesterday in Rafa Kamara, but we have two new faces to the front of the field today for race number 2 in James Wharton and Evan Gilter. No penalties in qualifying, just 2 laps reinstated mean James Wharton and Evan Gilter will head the field ahead of Rafa Kamara and Ivan Dominguez, who thought he had took pole position by 5 thousandths of a second ahead of Rafa Kamara. Pedro Claro and Enzo Deligny come next ahead of this race, which is running early. Tuka Taponen and Nico Lacorte are next ahead of Enzo Peugeot and Brando Badua. Alessandro Giusti and Teofil Nile, who came to a halt with a fuel pump issue, are next. Then Nikita Bedrin and Nikhil Bora are next on row 7. Noah Stromstead and Matteo De Paolo are on row 8. Roman Belinsky could be one to watch. Likewise, Ugo Ugotrupru, a very strong row 9. Watch for those two. Giovanni Maschio with his best ever qualifying is on row 10 ahead of Dorian Pan in the top 20 once again. Then Rinnicella and Ricky Liu are next. Nandad Vidon Bakhti, a very good qualifying for him, ahead of Zach David, who crashed on the first lap after qualifying P6. Then Kanato Lee and Huang Dat Soya, Jesse Calasquedo Jr. and Roman Antriolo. Row 14, Marta Garcia finished just behind her teammate on debut. She's behind, in front of Lena Buhler, shall I say. Then it's Yaroslav Veselau and Edgar Pierre. Behind that is Costa Topares, who had mechanical faults, meaning he could not even get one push lap in qualifying. He comes next in 33rd place. Well, we've had no real time to build up to this race. I do apologise to that. We're running ahead of schedule. James Wharton becomes the 20th different pole sitter in Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine history on his debut weekend. He got 3rd yesterday after a penalty at turn 6 on lap 1 when he overtook Tuka Tarpanen round the outside. Let's see what he can do today. He's still finished on the podium behind Tuka Tarpanen and Rafa Kamara. His lap, as I said, with Evan Gilter reinstated, so those two go to the front of the grid. We have Evan Gilter next to him, who had a gearbox problem, which was caused, unfortunately, during the race yesterday from exhaust issues. So we haven't really seen what he can do in full race trim. Let's see if he can get ART's first win since Monza round 10, 2022, when Gabriele Mini put them onto the top step of the podium. Now drivers have settled, this should be a really interesting race. Gabriele Mini taking 3 wins for them last season. Let's see if ART Grand Prix can get back onto the top step with Evan Gilter. He'll be to the left-hand side of the grid. He is a rookie driver as well. To the right-hand side, we have James Wharton, of course, the top rookie, goes onto the podium with the top 3 drivers if they are not there already. Push to pass will become active after lap 1. They get to use that 5 times in the race. This is a 30-minute plus 1 lap race. This is race 2 of round 1 at Hockenheim in the Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine. I think that is just about everything. It's Gilter to the left, Wharton to the right. We are go for race 2 of the season in 2024. And just like yesterday, the driver from the inside row of the grid is going to lead us in towards the first corner. Gilter from P2 gets away better, and he steals the lead from James Wharton as we head down towards turn number 2 for the first time. So it's ART Grand Prix Gilter leading from Prema Racing's Rafa Kamara, who's got past James Wharton going down towards turn number 2. Do we get all 33 cars through safely? I think just about, as it looked like Wharton has dropped behind Ivan Dominguez and Pedro Claro. The 2 Van Amersfoort Racing drivers look like they've got to head down towards turn 6 for the first time. Gilter defending from yesterday's winner, Rafa Kamara. Oh no, 3 wide contact there between one of the Van Amersfoort cars. That looked like Pedro Claro maybe and James Wharton coming together. We've got all sorts of cars running wide in the background. One of the G4 cars has dropped back, which is Kanato Lee. Unfortunately, he's hit problems in the first stages, and I think we've got one of the Prema Racing cars dropping back through the field as well as they make their way through turn 8. Oh no, James Wharton's in problems. He's slowing down. Our pole sitter coming slow through the second sector, sorry, out of turn 10. There he is to the left of screen, and James Wharton maybe coming into pit lane. Oh no, go. MP Motorsport car off on the right of screen. We've got another car off. RPM car off into the gravel as well. It's a messy first lap. It's Lena Buhler who has gone off into the gravel and rejoined in the 47. Who is the RPM car that has gone off? We need to investigate that one. It's Edgar Pierre. Well, he had a disappointing race yesterday. He finished off the back of the field after problems in the race. He's not even going to finish this one. That's a Trident driver. That's Nico Lacorte getting past Enzo Peugeot, who goes almost airborne through turn number 1 there. Enzo Peugeot qualifying in the top 10 today, and he's almost airborne through turn 1 there. Lock up from Tuukka Taponen coming through turn 2, just about manages to stop himself from losing 2 positions. That looked like a Van Amersfoort car getting past him, which was Pedro Claro. Now he's having to deal with a hard charger in Nikita Bedrin. This is James Wharton, how things can go badly so quickly. A lap reinstated, a pole position gained. Now he finds himself in pit lane. Oh, is Claro there running wide, under braking, coming down to the hairpin and almost finding himself into contact with Taponen. In the background, we've got a Prema Racing car that looked like running wide as well. Not too sure who that was, as Taponen is side by side with an MP car, and I think we needed that safety car almost just to compose ourselves and find out where we were in this race. Right, what happened here? Let's see, that's Lena Buhler getting offline through Mobile 1 and running wide, and there goes Edgar Pierre backwards on entry into the corner, and he finds himself static in the gravel. Right, this is Nicolas Lacorte to the left of screen, to the right in the blue and white Santalot car with some of his front wing already missing, I think trapped under his car. That's Enzo Peugeot running wide and off, and that means that he is unfortunately going to have to come into pit lane. Oh, well, what a frantic start to the race. We had to build up to it very quickly, didn't we? And we've certainly got into the action very quickly. So where are we in the race? Evan Gilter leads for ART Grand Prix in their new liveried black and red livery car. Oh no, Hugo Ukachukwu was the Prema Racing car that ran wide out of turn 6. He's out. What a disappointing race for Prema Racing, our reigning team's champions. McLaren Junior driver out, the Ferrari Academy driver of James Wharton in pit lane. Oh dear. And Santalok Racing, it's, well, that's the Evans GP car, sorry. Huang Dat Soya, the Vietnam driver, he's out as well. It's not been a good start to the race for a number of drivers. Pierre walks away from his car. Not the start to the season he would have wanted at all. Huang Dat Soya just wanted 2 clean finishes, I think, given his real lack of inexperience. So down the left-hand side, you can see your timing tower, and you can see Ukachukwu is out. Dat Soya will be out. Wharton looks like, unless he rejoins, he is out. Pierre out as well. And I think Peugeot might be the same as well. So that's a real shame for then Ukachukwu. We saw, just making a note of these, so he was off at turn 6, wasn't he? We saw Dat Soya with damage to the front of his car. He is out. Wharton, unfortunate for him that lap 1, we saw him into problems straight away, and Pierre in the gravel, sadly, as well, out unfortunately for him. So that's a real shame for those drivers. What about at the front of the field? I can see the recovery vehicle already out, making its way to recover some of the cars that need to be recovered. Incident between 6 and 3, so that is Ukachukwu and Dat Soya, so they came together. Now, Ukachukwu started 18th, Dat Soya started 26th, so it must have been either a poor start for Ukachukwu or a very good start, or a combination of the two that found them together. I wouldn't like to presume a guess as to how those two came together, but I'd say it's one of those 3, isn't it? Evan Gilter leads. Let's get back to the front of the field very briefly. Rafa Kamara is 2nd. Ivan Dominguez is 3rd. We have a rookie driver leading the race. Not for the first time round here. Martini Stenchon did so for our race GP, of course, last year. Evan Gilter leading the way for ART Grand Prix here, so rookie winners is becoming a more common theme in this championship over the seasons. Ivan Dominguez third, so 2 rookies on the podium so far. Enzo Deligny said to me earlier, if you're watching Paddock Live, struggled with the rear tyres, just burning him up in the early stages of the race. Let's see if he's learnt from that. He's 4th, Brando Badua 5th. Teofil Niall has come up the order from P12 to P6, so he's capitalised on this, I guess, this very busy start to the race, shall we say. He's capitalised on the carnage, so to speak, and come up to P6. Pedro Clero has come up to 7th. Tuka Taponen has come up to 8th. Nikita Bedrin to 9th. Nico Lacorte has come up to 10th. Stromstead, 11th place, is next. Points go to the top 10. We run the same point system as Formula 1, albeit no points for fastest lap. So Nico Lacorte will currently take the last point available. Noah Stromstead is then in 11th place. He's gained 4 places so far. Roman Belinsky has gained a few places. He's gained 5 already. Then it's Matteo De Paolo who has come up a few. Alessandro Giusti is in 14th place. Let's see how he can go on throughout the rest of this. He's actually dropped back a little bit, so he'd be a little bit disappointed. Although Edgar Pierre is out, Maschio is knocking on the door of possible points for RPM. He's gained a few places. Roman Andriolo, 16th. Zach David has gained 7 places already. The driver from Philippines running the Maltese license, he's up 7th. Ricky Liu is up a few as well. He's 18th. Jesse Calascado Jr. 19th. Then we have Nanda Woodbin Bhakti next, is showing constant progress, isn't he, throughout the weekend. Lena Buhler having a really good run. 9 places gained for her so far, so she is certainly putting her car in the right places at the right time in this race and getting her elbows out when required. Dorian Pan is 22nd, again running with her teammate. They finished just 6/10 apart at the line yesterday. Costa Toparis has gained 9 places so far. Good work by him. Spoke to him earlier about coming up from GB3. So it just feels the cars are fairly much similar, but enjoying being on much bigger circuits. Really enjoying the atmosphere of this as well. He's having a great time so far and looking forward to going to all the circuits that we have. And it's a 10-round calendar that we have. I think that leads us nicely into looking ahead to the season we have so far. Essentially, it's the same that we had last year. We have 10 rounds ahead of us. We're going to go to all the same tracks. We go to Spa in just 2 weeks' time, which is going to be fantastic to be back there. The push-to-pass system around Spa, always good. Then we go to Zandvoort after that with DTM in June. We also go to the Hungaroring in June, Mugello in July, and Paul Ricard. Then we take our mid-season break before we go to Imola, Red Bull Ring. We go to in September, so Imola and Red Bull Ring are our stops in September, along with Barcelona. So a busy September before we end in October at Monza, which is always a good place to end. So push to pass, for those of you new to the championship, it becomes available after lap 1. Now we're in a safety car. They'll get to use it as soon as they cross the safety car line, and it can be used up to 5 times in a race. What is push to pass? Button on the steering wheel that gives them additional power when they hit the button on that steering wheel, gives them an extra boost. They need to reach 4th gear to use the push-to-pass system, and then they get to use it. We don't know when they're using it. They don't know when their competitors are using it. That's the kind of catch to push-to-pass. Speaking to James Wharton, who's new to the championship this year, he was telling me, you know when the driver ahead is using it. The problem is you don't know when the driver behind is using it, so you have to be quite clever about using it. Do you save it for the last 5 laps, for example, or do you use it earlier and try and overtake? He said it is very, very good because it does work. It does, when you use it, it does help you. It does what it says on the tin. You can pass a driver. So the strategy is going to be very interesting in how drivers use it. Will they use it early in the race, make the places, and then try and defend at the end? Do they wait later on? It's a good system in that sense, and good in the fact that we, as viewers and fans of the championship, have to try and guess when they're using it. That's, I think, the best part of it. now we have this safety car as well. It becomes even more interesting as well. We're not going to have the tyre wear factor so much that we had yesterday either, I don't think, as well. So that's going to come certainly into play. Very interested to see how the likes of Teofil Niall will do now he's settled into a top 10 spot. He'll be, of course, very disappointed with what happened yesterday. We've got some drivers scouting about just outside the top 10, experienced drivers in Roman Belinsky. Can he come forward? Stromstead, can he come forward as well? Nikita Bedrin. What about Tuukka Taponen? Podium finisher. We may talk about him as a new driver to the championship, but he's won a championship at this level in the Formula Regional Middle East. So we may not talk about him enough that it's his first weekend, but it is his first weekend in this championship. He is a new face to it. Okay, safety car is in this lap. There's Enzo Deligny, Red Bull Junior. I've said it a few times this weekend, but I'll say it again. One of 9 drivers affiliated to F1 teams, which is fantastic. We have Enzo with Red Bull. We have Rafa Kamara, Tuukka Taponen with Ferrari, Ugo Ugachukwu with McLaren, Dorian Pan with Mercedes, Nico Lacorte with Alpine, Alessandro Giusti with Williams, Lena Buhler with Sauber. So 7 different F1 teams have a driver that they've slotted into this championship this year, which I think is absolutely fantastic. I'm sure there will only be more. Okay, let's focus on the race at hand and the safety car restart. A rookie leading the way in the first round of the season, race 2. Evan Gilter, our French F4 champion from last season, didn't even make it to the flag yesterday because of mechanical faults. Can he now come back and take a race win? He's going to have to hold off yesterday's winner in Rafa Kamara, who got his foot down coming out of Sachs Curve, which they approached now yesterday. How will Evan Gilter approach this one? Will he take the same approach? Rafa Kamara, look, he's almost anticipating it right on the back of Evan Gilter, and Evan Gilter is taking the exact same approach. We are back underway and racing here at the Hockenheim ring as they come out of the final corner with just over half the race remaining. Evan Gilter leads us down the start-finish straight. The green flags are waving and Rafa Kamara already trying to get heat into those tyres. Through turn number 1 we go. The field filing its way through and you can see them all right together there. Ivan Dominguez in third, Enzo Deligny. We've got an RSGP driver defending or trying to make a move. It looks like that was a defensive move, I think, from Tuukka Taponen there as they come out of turn 3. So Nikita Bedrin has gone past Tuukka Taponen, I believe. Then we've got Nico Lacorte now trying to get past him as well. Van Amersfoort driver to the right of screen. In fact, at the very front of the field, we've almost got a pass from Rafa Kamara. We've got a Van Amersfoort driver trying to go round the outside, which is Brando Badua of Enzo Deligny. I don't think he was successful in doing so. Roman Belinsky has run wide at turn 6 and rejoins. In fact, he's gone round the outside of Noah Stromstead and got through into 11th place. Deligny defending, coming in towards turn 8. Now they come out of turn 8. We've got to say, oh, Teofil Niall there, side by side with Brando Badua, and he's gone into 5th place. So Niall up to P5, Badua down to P6. Are we going to see the Spanish F4 champion come through even further? Top 3 as a result of all of this are escaping. There is Belinsky ahead of Stromstead. Looked like he ran wide to me. Let's see if that's investigated further as they now come up to the final 2 corners. Just behind this is Matteo De Paolo having a superb start to his season. Here we go down the start-finish straight once more. Rafa Kamara just behind Gilter, but if anything, he's more under pressure from Ivan Dominguez, who wants to start his season with a win as well. Down to turn 2, Ivan Dominguez lining up a move possibly on Rafa Kamara this lap. I think the moves are going to come for P4, P5, P6. Tuukka Taponen having to defend. Big lunge coming from Roman Belinsky, and he's made contact there with Nicola Lacorte, his teammate. Now dropping back into the clutches of Matteo De Paolo. Matteo De Paolo in the white and blue Santilot car right behind Roman Belinsky. We've got an ART car, which is Alessandro Giusti in the red and black dropping back. Here they come, down towards the hairpin. We're 3 wide, almost an orange NP of Nikita Bedrin defending. It's hard to pick out exactly who is going backwards and who is going forwards. We're almost 3 wide, but to the right of screen, the blue and white car is Matteo De Paolo. He's side by side with the number 4 of Roman Bielinski, and it looks like he's going to complete this move into turn 8. Great driving from the Italian. Lena Buhler has come to a halt. We saw that one going off in the background, didn't we, while this move was being complete. Matteo De Paolo into 11th place, though. Lena Buhler has come to a halt, and the safety car is deployed. Oh dear, well, that's a real shame for Lena Buhler. Lena Buhler climbs out the car. She's all okay. She finished 26th place yesterday, the F1 Academy vice champion. Think looks like she's all okay. I'll be honest, I just saw a car spinning. I didn't exactly see how that materialized. Was a bit too focused on the battle between Bielinski and De Paolo, but the main thing is she's okay and out the car and walking away safely. Right, let's try and look for this green and black Sauber Academy car then. It's going to come into view very short. Oh, okay, well, it's hard to make sense of what's happened there, isn't it? She's clearly had contact. You can see the left front suspension has folded in on her, so... Oh, wow, okay. Well, she's definitely received contact from somewhere. We need to see how that started before we can make any real assessments of that, but that's a real shame, isn't it? Lena Buhler, all we can say, I think all we can say from that one, it's really hard to assess properly what's happened there without seeing another angle of that, because from what we've seen, she comes into the corner, she gets airborne somehow, and then she's come to a halt. All we'll say is it's a real shame that she's out the race and that we're under a safety car once again, but thankfully she's all okay. Well, Evan Gilter still leads from Rafa Kamara. Ivan Dominguez, I think, will be slightly disappointed because the top 3 had broken away. Enzo Deligny was under a little bit of pressure, so I think the safety car for him will be one he welcomes because it gives him a chance at a podium here. I think not because of the pressure, more the fact of, I've got a chance at this, I've got a chance at a podium. Teofil Nile will be thinking exactly the same. Brando Badua 6th, Pedro Clara 7th, and all those guys will be thinking the same. We got chances of podiums here. Nikita Bedrin likewise. Tuka Taponen is not showing the pace he demonstrated yesterday. And in fact, yesterday, he received contact from Zach David, who held up his hands. That's how Zach David spun yesterday. He tried to move into turn 2 on lap 1, spun, made contact with Taponen. Taponen was carrying light damage yesterday. Just doesn't seem to have the pace in that car he had yesterday. But it was a frantic start to the race. I'm not too sure if he's if it's just a case of he's just not got the pace he had yesterday running in the midfield. Of course, he didn't have the qualifying he would have hoped for yesterday, and this is a very, very competitive field, isn't it? So if you're not at the very, very front, it's incredibly hard to get through it because everyone in that top 10 is capable of getting wins and podiums. In fact, it can go all the way down to top 15. Nico Lacorte doing a good job in 10th place. He's got the last point, but got to give huge credit to Matteo De Paolo, who coming into this championship from Spanish F4, 5th in that championship last year, did take a win over at Spa, 4 podiums in that championship as well. He did do a couple of rounds with the Santalok team over in the Formula Regional Middle East Championship, and he's just away now from getting inside the points. I'm not too sure if Roman Bielinski is going to have damage to his car now, or Nico Lacorte, because they did make contact down at turn 2. So we'll see. Matteo De Paolo would have recognised that, and I think he will look to pounce as soon as we go green again. Giusti 13th, Stromstead 14th, Maschio 15th, Andriolo next, David, Liu, Calascado Jr. up from 27th to 19th. Bidon Bakti, Rinicella, Toparis up 11 places in this race now. Pan, Bora, Peugeot is doing a recovery job after his pit stop. He's now up to 25th, or what could have been for Enzo Peugeot. one to watch throughout the season, perhaps. Kanato Lee, 26th, was once off the back. He dropped all the way to the back, didn't he? He's now 26th. Marta Garcia, 27th. Veselau, 28th. Then we have the victims that have gone. Buhler gone at turn 6 after she was airborne. Ugachukwu, that's where he came off the circuit as well. Datsoya out of the race. He came together with Ugachukwu, it seems, down there. That's going to be investigated after the race. Wharton had an incident at turn on the first lap as well, which has put him out of the race. Edgar Pierre came off coming into Mobile 1 curve. So we're losing a few drivers from this race. We've still got a few minutes remaining. And it's, I think I'm hearing that we're going to have that investigated, that incident that Lena Buhler was involved in after the race. Now, she was checking her wrists, wouldn't she, when she got out of the car. She's just hopping in with the medical team and will be, I'm sure, taken to the medical centre just to be checked over. So hopefully she is fully okay, and we will see her back again, I'm sure, at Spa. It did look like quite a heavy impact, and landing in these cars from that angle and that height is not what it's designed for, is it? So hopefully she's all okay. Okay, 7 minutes to go, and hopefully now we should see the safety car coming in shortly. The Marshals recovery and safety team doing their jobs very well so far, getting us out early as well. So I have to say, always a big thanks to the safety teams at all the circuits, and to the team at Hockenheim this weekend. They've got us even ahead of schedule. I know at times they've had to work very hard in what's been pretty hot heat. It's been quite blistering heat this weekend, so a big thanks to the team here at Hockenheim for putting on a good event for us. Okay, safety car in this lap. We go racing once more. Evan Gilter, 6.5 minutes to try and hold off, plus the additional lap at the end to hold off Rafa Kamara. Ivan Dominguez, do not count him out either. The top three were breaking away, weren't they? And then the battle for fourth. What about Enzo Teligny? Can he get himself onto the podium? Teofil Nile right there as well. Then Badua, Cledo, Bedrin, Tabonen, Lacorte, that's your top 10. De Paolo will be looking to get inside the top 10. Here they come up towards Sachs Curve. Gilter, will he take a different approach this time? Will he wait until the exit of Sachs Curve? Will he take the exact same approach? I think Kamara's anticipating he's going to do the exact same thing, and that's exactly what he does. He waited slightly later for the corner, but Gilter knows that that's the strategy that worked for Kamara, and it's worked for him once again as the young Frenchman leads us on to the start-finish straight to take us down towards turn number 1. Evan Gilter for ART Grand Prix leads us with 5.5 minutes to go, plus 1 lap. Rafa Kamara right in behind him. 3 different teams inside the top 3 positions so far. 4 inside the top 4 as we come in towards turn 2. Now, for the 12th time of asking, we're side by side, Matteo De Paolo. We did say to watch out for him, and he's trying to steal that final point away from the likes of Roman Belinsky and Nico Lacorte. He's got to get past Belinsky first of all, and he's side by side with him. Meanwhile, we're battling away here for 4th place. Teofil Nile to the right of screen there. Santaloc Racing drivers busy on the restarts. Nile trying the switchback. Some runs ran wide on the exit of turn 6, which I think may have been Matteo De Paolo. Can't quite confirm that, but De Paolo, what I can say, has got past Roman Belinsky, I think. Yes, he has. And up ahead of that, Nico Lacorte is side by side with Tuca Taponen. Don't collide, guys. They get through safely. And Nico Lacorte, for the meantime, is still behind. So De Paolo now ahead of Roman Belinsky and up into 11th place. Well, in fact, they're side by side, weren't they? So great side by side action between them. That's De Paolo holding on to that position, isn't it? Roman Bielinski was trying to get that position back. So an amendment on that one. Bielinski trying to get that car back from them, and a safety car has been deployed once more. Now I can see the gravel dust up. Oh no, so that's the G4 car of Kanato Lee, and that's Costa Toparis, and they've come off at Mobile 1 curve. Well, let's hope they're both okay. That's quite a fast corner that they've come into there, and they've both gone off into Mobile 1 curve. Kanato Lee, just looking out the window, Kanato Lee and Costa Toparis, they were fighting just outside the top 20. We didn't quite see the incident on screen. I didn't see it myself out the window either, but the recovery vehicle was on its way. Let's have a look. Did the teams pick it up on camera? Oh, wow. Costa Toparis was incredibly lucky not to go over and went head on into the barriers. That's a really fast impact there. Costa Toparis, Kanato Lee, let's hope they're both okay. The fact we've seen that on screen, I hope, means that they're just both okay. Costa Toparis and Kanato Lee. Just thankful we didn't see that car go over, because it looked incredibly close to doing so. A really, really fast section of the circuit, and that's a really encouraging sign. Both drivers are out of the cars and appear to be okay from looking at a distance, so that's a really encouraging sign. Thanks to the team for putting that graphic on screen for us. Sadly, they're both out, and the back under safety car, Evan Schulter, leads the way, and there go the drivers. A real shame. Costa Toparis had a good run up until that point, and Kanato Lee was on a real recovery run. Kanato Lee had come back through the field after dropping back at the start. Costa Toparis, after having no real run in no real running qualifying, had come through the field. They were both fighting just outside the top 20. Yes, the points go to the top 10, but all good experience for the drivers, and all stuff they can take great confidence away from performances and results like that. And a real shame that both their races end in this way, but we are at round 1 of 10, and there is a long, long season ahead of us. Well, the teams are working away. I'm really not sure if this race will resume. I can see Costa Toparis, his car has already been cleared, and now we've got a second recovery vehicle making its way to, as you can see in the background, making its way out to clear the car of Kanato Lee, but the safety car would have to be in on this lap, and I'm really not sure we're going to be in a position to do that. So we are going to go on to the final lap next time we go round, and I imagine it will finish behind the safety car. Here comes the field now up to the up to where the accident happened, and you'll see that the recovery vehicles are just now clearing the car of Kanato Lee. And of course, as much as we all want to see this race resumed, I imagine these things do, of course, need to be done to make sure everything's done safely. I'm not sure we're going to see this race underway, but it's been a great battle when it has taken place between the likes of Evan Schulter, Rafa Kamara, and also Ivan Dominguez, but the safety team do need to take their time to make sure these things are done properly, make sure the drivers are safe and are back in one piece, and the cars get back in one piece as well. And the things that have to be considered first are, of course, the drivers, the safety are the drivers. So we will finish behind the safety car, and that means Evan Gilter will be crowned our winner, and it will mean ART Grand Prix will take their first win since round 10, 2022, when Gabriele Mini took his third win in the Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine. They did not take any last season. It's been quite a long wait for them to stand onto the top step of the podium, and they had a lot of faith. When I spoke to the team earlier this weekend, they had a lot of faith in their driver lineup, and particularly in the likes of Evan Gilter and Alessandro Giusti as well. Evan Gilter coming in as a French F4 champion, and they put him in the car last year when he came in to the championship. They had so much faith in him, so much excitement about him, and you can see why. He's got in, and already he is demonstrating why he is a French F4 champion, why he has been put into such a brilliant team like ART Grand Prix. And can he go on similar runs? We've seen the likes of Gregoire Saucy do, who of course helped ART Grand Prix to win this first championship in 2021, and Gabriele Mini as well, who fought for the championship himself with the team. It is the final lap of the race. The French F4 champion is going to be the person to take the top step. Comes in as one of 6 reigning champions, and he is going to be the person to help ART Grand Prix get that first win since 2022. Rafa Kamara second, Ivan Dominguez third. Round the final corner, they've had to wait a long time for it since October 2022, but Evan Gilter puts ART Grand Prix back where they belong. It's a win once again for ART Grand Prix, their first since Monza, round 10, 2022, and Evan Gilter, the man to put ART Grand Prix back on the top step of the podium in the Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine, and how good that will feel. You can see what it means to him. We may have finished under safety car, but you cannot say he did not deserve that. That was a superb performance when required from him. Rafa Kamara starts his season with 2 podium finishes, and Ivan Dominguez starts with 2 top 5 finishes and 1 podium as well. Ivan Gilter takes the rookie win along with it as well. Winning as a rookie driver is a superb performance, something we are seeing done more often in this championship. We saw Martinius Stenchon do it here last year. Ivan Gilter does it now this season. Enzo Deligny, 4th place for him as well. Santalog Racing 5th with Teofil Nile. 5 different teams inside the top 5. What a recovery drive after those issues Teofil Nile had yesterday. Brando Badua 6th, Pedro Claro 7th, Nikita Bedrin was 8th. Then Tuca Taponen was 9th. Nico Lacorte was 10th. Matteo De Paolo just missing out on a points finish, but very encouraging race for him. And then it was Belinsky, Stromstead, Giusti, Maschio, David, Andriolo, Liu, Carrasquedo Jr., Renichella, Bidon Bakti, Bora, Pan, Peugeot, Garcia. Rounded out the top 25. You can see the rest of your positions on screen there as well. Sadly, losing drivers like the likes of Toparis, Lee, Peugeot, Ukachukwu, Dat Sawyer, Wharton, Pierre, Buhler, also out the race, sadly, as well. Well, quite a frantic race, wasn't it? Unfortunately, an incident-filled race. I think we can't hide from that fact. A shame to see drivers out of the race, but Rafa Kamara, he'll be very pleased with that weekend. Big points on the board. He walks away as the championship leader from this round. That's exactly what the Ferrari Driver Academy member would have wanted, a first and a second. It does not get much better than that. Ivan Dominguez, third place for him. Well done to him. Superb. And Evan Gilter now down the pit lane. What a brilliant performance. Evan Gilter is going to take his first win in the Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine. Here he comes, Evan Gilter, the French F4 champion, putting ART Grand Prix back on the top step of the podium. That's going to feel so good for that team. Climbs out of the car, and he cannot wait to get to the team, can he? Evan climbs out the car, celebrates, big win. All the work he's put in with the team, and Evan Gilter, the exhaust problem he had yesterday, robbing him from being able to put any kind of performance together, but he's come back and proven what he could do today with that ART Grand Prix team and shown that they mean business. He may be a rookie, but he is here to take wins, and he's not here to fight for the rookie class. He's here to fight for the overall title, just like former ART Grand Prix drivers have done in the likes of Gregoire Saucy, Gabriele Mini. He joins both of them as race winners in this championship. He becomes the 18th different winner in the Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine. Evan Gilter on the top step of the podium and getting ART Grand Prix, who've won so much in feeder series, back where they belong. Well, this was the highlights for you. Of course, we did a huge amount of the race behind the safety car, sadly, but let's go through the on-track action when full race trim and show you what brought out those safety cars as well. We saw Nikhil Bora going off at the start of the race on lap 1. Edgar Pierre came off at turn 11. That brought out the safety car. Unfortunately, Uga Chukwu and Dat Sawyer came together. James Wharton, our pole sitter, had a crash on lap 1 as well and came into pit lane. We also had issues for Enzo Peugeot as well, who appeared to have lost his front wing or got it trapped underneath his car, so he was out as well. Lena Buhler then seemed to receive contact, and as she landed, it seemed to she seemed to pick up damage to the front left suspension, put her out. Then we went racing once again, once her car was retrieved. But this was the incident that then ended the race. Costa Toparis, a real scary crash, coming together with Kanato Lee. Kanato Lee trying to get up the inside into the very fast Mobile 1 curve, and Costa Toparis in the end quite fortunate not to roll that car, just thankfully both of them getting out the car in one piece. And that meant Evan Gilter came across the line to win the race and put ART Grand Prix back on the top step for the first time since 2022. His debut weekend, a rookie driver as well. The rookie win, the overall win, came from not finishing yesterday to the top step today. Ivan Dominguez, well done to him. Podium finish on what's been a superb weekend for Van Amersfoort Racing. They mean business this season. Prema Racing second with Rafa Kamara. ART Grand Prix on the top. Good to see 3 different teams on the podium. 5 different teams in the top 5. It's a super competitive championship this year. Rookie on the top step as well. National anthem of France playing around the Hockenheim ring, and you cannot take that smile off Evan Gilter's face. It's absolutely fantastic. Oh, his team member comes out as well. I think they were so busy celebrating, they forgot to come to the podium. Oh, I'll tell you, they will enjoy these celebrations. They will enjoy the celebrations, and so they should. And so should Van Amersfoort Racing. It's been one of the great stories of this first round. Well done to them. Well done, Rafa Kamara. Coming in as the top seed, comes with a lot of pressure, but he leaves the championship leader, and in a fairly comfortable position as well. Evan Gilter puts himself firmly in the championship running. We may only be at round one, but they all mean big, as ART Grand Prix said to me as well, and they celebrate with top points today. New livery as well this season, and they've come in now with some new drivers, and they come home with some new trophies. Wow, it's going to be a great season, isn't it? 5 different teams in the top 5, lots of new drivers in the points, and we've got a new winner as well to add to our record books. 18th different winner in Evan Gilter joins an elusive list, becomes another rookie winner as well. It's going to be a fantastic season, and we do it all again in 2 weeks' time at Spa, the 25th and 26th of May. Be sure to join us there. It's been a great first round to kick off the season. Until then, it is goodbye here from the Hockenheim ring. We will see you at Spa.